everyone, and welcome to episode 115 of my Guild Wars 2 Let's Play series, where we are currently in Living World Season 1, and this episode is the beginning of the end, where we are going to begin the Battle for Lion's Arch, the final episode for this entire season of Living World Season 1. We're comparing Season 1 to the personal story, where we spent 101 episodes doing the personal story, and now we are on our 14th episode of the Living World Season 1. It is definitely much shorter, but there's still, a lot more content to go into this final episode that we'll spend more than one video on. But let's go ahead and begin, where we can go ahead and read the letter, where we start with the Twisted Marionette. Captain Logan Thackeray says, Scarlet sighted. Commander, there's a rapidly developing situation in Lornar's Pass. Apparently, Scarlet Briar is deploying a massive construct based on the Watch Knights as some kind of sadistic field test. The Priory is calling for immediate support, and a number of adventurers are already in the area battling Scarlet's armies. Mysterious probes have also started appearing all over the region. We could use your help, but after reading the reports from Kessex Hills, I have to think this is at the tip of a darker scheme. Stay on your toes, friend. Logan. Where this is a very fun mission that we're about to go into, where the Twisted Marionette originally was a big world boss, and now we get to experience it as a story mission, and it is still a world boss that you can do. And we saw the remains of the Twisted Marionette when we explored through Lornar's Pass before, and we've also seen these different little, what did he specifically call them, mysterious probes, where we have seen them all around the world, and they are connected to this. Specifically with Triple Trouble, we saw each of the rooms at one of those probes, where Triple Trouble released in the same patch as the Twisted Marionette world boss. It was like a double patch basically, and it was very exciting. But we can go ahead and head to Lorna's Pass and meet up with our friends down here towards the Twisted Marionette's landing. Here's the concept art for this loading screen, and it looks incredible, and it really does fit the vibes of Scarlet Briar and kind of everything we've seen with the Watch Knights and whatnot. Whereas we load in, we can see Roxanne, Frostbite, Brem, Krasmir, Marjorie, and then we see a tiny little Asuran on top of a golem by the name of Timey. Let's chat with Brem, where he says, you were asked to come too, Commander. I don't like rumors of Scarlet not so close to home. Heard something about a weapons test, but I don't know how accurate that is. Newt has the city on guard. Where let's talk to the Asuran and progeny being child, of course, where we can get a little closer look here, where this is a very young looking Asuran. And she says, this is definitely Scarlet's work. I'd lay my reputation on it. Oh, we are so close. She can't be far away. Do you think we'll get to see her, maybe meet her? I'd like that, wouldn't you? What do you think she's up to? She's testing her Aether Cannon, obviously. She summoned her peripheral units to come sacrifice their energy cells to her weapon. If she manages to get it powered up, it'll most likely kill us all. Why don't you think she's calling in additional troops to defend those energy fields until her Watchwork minions can reach them and power up her weapon, of course? She's a genius, an absolute genius. You know she's a terrorist, right? I never said she was a good person, but that doesn't make her any less of an engineer. I could learn so much from her. Hey, do you think they let her teach me from jail? Is that ethical? What do you think she's up to? Where we can cycle through this again, and we could say I would for different reasons. So what are you doing out here? Where she is looking for Scarlet, and we can say this, and then we need to get back to this. I see, but you should get out of here before it shows up. So a very interesting character.
That energy field's calibrated to teleport living matter. It's safe. Really? Go!
Get into high gear. Through that energy field. Forward. Double time.
So this Asuran child is just charging straight into the fray.
Your humiliation will end soon.
And I guess we can go ahead and join her, where we are on this platform, where we have 5 friends and we have 5 platforms, where we can break the Marionette's chains to disable it, and we have 5 of those, where we have some Twisted Menders and a champion regulator Warden blocks frontal attacks, summons Twisted Reavers, and we can see the Marionette is also attacking us. And this entire fight is just super cool. Where if you look here, we see lanes where in the open world boss version of this fight, you want to have the entire group of like 50 plus people split up across the 5 lanes, and they have to defend their lanes, and one at a time they can go ahead and teleport into these platforms and fight a boss, where you have to defeat the first boss in order to get to the second, in order to get to the third, in order to get to the fourth, in order to get to the fifth. And each lane takes their turns. So hypothetically, you would have each lane go a single time and each fight a boss one time, and all defeat their boss in order to beat the entire Twisted Marionette mission. But if one of the lanes fails, then the boss that they failed goes to the second lane, and it just rotates through until either the event fails or the boss is defeated, where we just defeated the first boss of our own, where we kind of just have to like sit back behind it. Not too big of an issue, so a good like introductory boss. Now we have Champion, Regulator, Warden 2, and Vulnerable while spinning, places mines, stunned by placed mines, which we kind of just saw naturally happen there, where he's going to place down mines, and then we want him to go through the mines, so we can go ahead and just try to kite him. And we can't really do too much when he is invulnerable like that, but he just went into one of his mines immediately again. But we're not going to have that luxury the next time he starts going again, so let's try to get as much damage in as we can. Try to get one good hit in, and then he's going to go, and he just blew himself up again. So he was kind of going for timing. I think normally he's supposed to go for S, and then we kind of just like run around and try to like bait him into the mines, but we can defeat him as well. And then we have this power regulator that we can defeat, and of course it is still the Festival of the Four Winds, which I recently covered in my last 2 episodes. But this entire encounter is just really, really cool. Aesthetically, we see this like giant ship that Scarlet has, giant airship, and then we see this incredibly cool looking Twisted Marionette. And then we could also inspire our friends to defeat their enemies, and it looks like all of them are down now. But yeah, I just love like this entire like encounter and the aesthetics with like this giant marionette. Speed over size. Complete one of the Twisted Marionette's platform encounters without being hit by the Marionette's attacks. There we go. And we are almost at 3,500 achievement points. So we're going higher up into the air now. We're getting like closer to the ship. And now we have the Regulator Warden 3, so the third boss for us to defeat, where he launches bombs and knocks down, or we can see a bunch of bombs all over the platform. I should get my flesh golem out, and then we should just try to deal as much damage as we can while taking the least amount of damage. That's how a good restore works, right? We can also see as we defeat each boss, one of the chains on the marionette is severed, and we can see that happening right there. So we severed both of the legs, and now we just severed one of the arms, and now we have the other arm, and then the body itself. Now we have Warden 4, Shrieks, fires homing missiles, where he has a very, very easy break bar. And we can also see the marionette's attacks change as we break off more chains, where, you know, on the first couple of bosses, we saw that she was like trying to step on us and whatnot, where now she is kind of just like swinging her blade, we can see there at us. Largely with this one, kind of just scary in the middle there for a little bit of time. Not exactly sure how we should try to counteract that, but we can go ahead and just try to break the break bar and then just deal as much damage as possible. Go support our friends, and then of course the power regulator once again, and then we're going to have one final fight, where this is much more straightforward than it is in the open world, but it's super cool to be able to experience this, where I think this was a mission that was actually created with the reintroduction of Living World Season 1 in order to experience this, which I think is really cool. And now we are up towards the head. I can see it's so incredibly detailed. Now we have Warden 5. Reassembles, leaps, charges, knocks down. And she's just kind of avoiding all my attacks. Let's try to get as much in here as possible. You can see such a cool attack there where her head is like spinning around and she's like shooting like bombs or whatever at us. Very, very cool looking. Also, her entire model is just like very like twisted. Like her spine is so kind of unnerving. Let's go ahead and finish off with this Warden, and we're going to see a very interesting mechanic where she's going to reassemble, where there are now like 2 of her, I think, stacked together right here. There you see them kind of splitting up, and then we can go ahead and break each of them down into 2 more, so we have like 4, and I think they just did it again into their smallest form that we can go ahead and just defeat. And let's do this big attack there and just kill all of them except for that one. And then we can go ahead and see the ending of this boss. A very, very cool boss that I love a lot. One of my favorite bosses in Guild Wars 2. Once Bram is done fighting. I guess Bram's a lazy fighter. He's still in like the first one. We can't really do anything. Bram's kind of ruining the mood right now. Okay, there he goes into the smaller ones. You just defeated all of them very easily there.
We are super adventurers! Disengage combat mode.
You never fail to surprise me.
And now we can go ahead and take Casimir's portal.
That was fun. I actually thought we might not win against that thing.
I'm starting to think Scarlet doesn't care whether she wins or loses against us.
What does that mean?
She doesn't fight like she wants to win. She sacrifices her weapons to take some of us out. It's like she's culling the herd.
Our herd.
Yeah, Tyria's defenders.
What do you think about those devices she's left around?
We don't know that Scarlet dropped those off, do we?
Who else? I keep waiting for one of them to explode.
Or spout toxins like the Tower of Nightmares.
You can stop worrying. They're not offensive. They're probes. She's looking for something.
Or open up and spew dredge into the surrounding area?
Whatever they are, I'm convinced they're dangerous.
Nobody ever listens to me.
Did you hear about the worms acting up in Bloodtide Coast?
Someone was saying something about that. You gonna go check it out?
Nah. I'm so tired, my pillow's already snoring.
Mine too.
Soon as we're done here, Bram and I are heading back to Lion's Arch.
Yeah, I'm starving.
We'll meet you there. Casimir, you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. Don't worry.
My dog was whining a little bit, so I just gave her a chew that you might hear, kind of similar to the Tower of Nightmares video that I did a couple of episodes ago.
You're a super genius.
What are you doing out here? Who are you with?
I'm not supposed to talk to nosy strangers.
Where are your parents?
Dead.
Okay. Well, you're obviously a long way from home. You come with me.
By whose authority are you ordering me around?
By the authority vested in me by Queen Jenna of Divinity's Reach. Now come with me.
I'm not going with you until I know where you're taking me.
To Lion's Arch, then to Radassoon. You've got no business out here on the battlefield.
Are you paying the waypoint fees?
Yes. Now come on.
You seem like a pleasant enough travel companion. Come on, Scruffy. This nice human is taking us home.
So Timey is a very interesting character, and now my dog is kind of lying down next to my feet. But let's go ahead and grab these rewards, where we have completed the Twisted Marionette, and we have gotten 3,500 achievement points exactly. Very exciting. Alright, let's go ahead, double click this just to get our random rewards, and we get some karma, and we can see everything on the right side here. But let's leave the area to plan our next move, where the Twisted Marionette was definitely a very dangerous weapon, but ultimately we did defeat it. But unfortunately, the Twisted Marionette also defeated many of our allies, which is unfortunate. But now we can go ahead and read the letter that we just got from Steward Gix. Congratulations and an opportunity. Prior scholars have informed me of your triumph over the marionette that appeared near our monastery. The German Priory owes you a debt once again, Commander. Without your help, Scarlet Briar's monstrosity seemed impossible to confront. Now it is beaten, and badly so. Should it return, we have the means and knowledge to put a permanent end to it. More importantly, we have pieced together data recovered from Scarlet's mechanical minions and made a remarkable discovery: the location of a concealed lair hidden in the caves underneath the Priory itself. A Priory Dangerous Artifacts Investigation and Containment Team is being assembled as you read this, but in light of your own contributions, I have attached coordinates to the lair entrance should you wish to make your own survey of the premises. Steward Gex, where we can go ahead and head to Scarlet's lair hidden underneath the German Priory, which I feel like is a very interesting location, but we do know there are a lot of caves down here. And I always find this area really cool, and there's actually a guild rush going on right now, which is also kind of fun to see happening. But we can navigate towards this story marker where we can just explore the caves and try to find where the entrance to Scarlet's lair is. And we can see right here, right next to this veteran cave troll, the surface is a little strange. It kind of looks like some of the entrances to the Aetherblade bases, and if you run through it, it is of course a fake wall. And we can see right here the hologram projector, and then we have a door and the story instance, the secret layer, where let's connect the power core and let's enter this instance with this incredibly cool loading screen art and a lot of stuff going on in here. Just a lot of stuff where we can investigate the layer, but where do we even begin? Let's start over here where we have Scarlet Briar's journal, where awake from nightmares, screaming, confused and scared. It's getting worse with a capital O. I feel like we should maybe write that down. I've decided to talk to Minder. I've probably just been working too hard. Where we have this one. I'll go back there. Every night the same terrors. It never changes. The Minder was unable to help me, and I feel like I'm losing control of myself. To the third fragment right over here. When the nightmare starts, an entity calls to me. I run into a sea of darkness. But no matter how hard I try to escape, it keeps calling me. I'm trying not to sleep, too scared to even close my eyes. So scared. Whispers come from the forest all night long, calling me, taunting me, possessing me. And then tonight, I saw it. I stared into the abyss, and it stared back at me. So much power. I don't know what's real and what isn't anymore. Control of my road, of myself, is slipping through my hands, and yet I'm no longer scared. It communicated with me through images of death, destruction, and destiny. I must know more. I must confront it and put an end to this madness. And that spells out OMAD, Scarlet Briar's mentor, where it appears that Scarlet Briar saw something very interesting, something that she was able to communicate with, and it communicated death, and it drove her crazy. Where there's a lot of other stuff in here where we can see some stuff that we could probably translate if you wanted. This looks like some Twisted Marionette stuff. And then we have this alliance chart here. So let's see, we got Savari connected to Crate. What is this? Asura with a pirate? Or maybe Dredge with a pirate? No, this must be an Asuran, and this must be a Dredge with a Char. This looks like Etten with Skrit. That would be really interesting. some sort of harpy. I'm not entirely sure. We got a quag in here. Centaurs with centaurs with quaggins would be a crazy alliance, but we can see some other alliances there. Got a lot of stuff. You see this eye right here, which is very interesting, with a map of Centrateria. But a big drawing of an eye. And something here. Some crumpled papers. Over here, we can see what looks like maybe some sort of drill there. And then a big ink splotch. We got more of that like eye stuff. More of whatever this is. Like some sort of like energy or something. Got a lot of books here that we can interact with. There's an empty jar on the shelf. Upon touching it, there's an unmistakable feeling of loss. I also have a picture of an Asuran that's clawed out. Potentially OMAD. And then we have over here a console where we can enter the access code OMADD.
What is this?
Where we can see something where we have a lot of those black dots, and now we can see the drill. So here are the black dots again in different areas, and these are areas where there are a bunch of energy probes, and we can see that the energy probes seem to be suggesting something towards the central part of Centrateria there being Lion's Arch. And then we see this big drill that comes up right after this. There's a bunch of X's over Lion's Arch. So let's leave the area to plan our next move. Click out of here, where we can get rid of this, and then we can read the next letter connecting the pieces. Marjorie Delacroix Investigations. Athelsilian, we beat Scarlet's Marionette by the skin of our teeth, mind you. We're going to regroup in Lion's Arch. Let's meet there. So let's meet them there. We have our story mission here, connecting the pieces, the origins of madness, a moment's peace, with this cool loading screen art of Lion's Arch. And I love all the ships and stuff, where this appears to be the Traders Forum, which is a very iconic location, of course, that I love a lot from the original Lion's Arch. But as we load in, we have Scholar Ella McKay, and we also got Rocks over there. We're going to just chat with Ella really quickly. And we're good to see you. I've been instructed to make sure everyone in the party is up to date with current knowledge surrounding Scarlet. Do you have a few minutes right now? The biggest news is that we've identified the location of one of Scarlet's lab, and would you believe it's been right under the German Prior the whole time? We were just there. Our finest scholars have approved the following information, though as always we may not yet have the full story. In her early years, Scarlet showed an insatiable desire for knowledge. She traveled from mentor to mentor, soaking up what knowledge she could from each, an admirable pursuit. I'm sure you'll agree. Unfortunately, she went astray when she lost her moral compass. She dabbled in knowledge that would have damaged the minds of even our most stalwart researchers. Combining magic and engineering, she looked beyond our world. What she saw in those greater workings broke her mind. Thus, she murdered her mentor and began her assault on Tyria. First, she explored an alliance between Flame Legion Char and Dredge. The alliance provided her and her allies with weaponry they'd never have developed on their own. They combined flame magic with the earth element skills of the Dredge, fire and earth. Scarlet is preparing a well-balanced army. Element this must surely have noticed her use of all the elements. Next, she enticed airship pirates to join with Inquest. The pirates had been working on an airship design, but it didn't become viable until Inquest magic was added to the mix. Air. We suspect that she has always been fascinated with Asuran portal magic tech, and she succeeded in taking it to a whole new level. She used this to assault the Queen's Jubilee. She took the Queen's Watchwork Sentinels and created horrors of them, warping them to her own purposes. This is her pattern. She steals the knowledge of others, then twists it. Her latest victory was convincing Crate to work with Nightmare Courtiers. We have confirmed that she held one of their sacred icons over their head to get them to do so. Water. The result was a plant so toxic that it has all but destroyed beautiful Kessex Hills, and now she has the toxin from it. We're trying to guess how she will use that toxin, but have little to go on. She guards her motives closely, though if we knew them, we could perhaps predict her next move. I hesitate to mention the theories because I do not know which is the truth. Some believe it's a lark. A few suggest that her ultimate target is the dragons. More say she's working for the dragons. Still, others believe she has a maniacal desire to rule the world. I honestly don't know, but I have a bad feeling it won't be long before we find out. You be careful out there. There's a dark cloud hanging over us all. I will. You too. Then right over here is Rocks.
Soldier, report. Where
Where's my Tequatl tail?
Back where I'm bunking, sir. I'll go get it immediately.
Wait, you took down Tequatl?
As reported, sir. I sent you a missive requesting an audience.
Been busy. I'm here now.
Should I go get the tail and bring it to you, Tribune?
No, I don't need a slab of decaying meat.
But I've been hauling it around for weeks.
Ooh, I bet that smell sticks to your gear.
It does.
I've been hearing about this Scarlet Sylvari. You know anything about her?
She's building an army, sir. She's the one behind the Molten Alliance.
So I heard. I want you to take her down. Permanently. Whatever the cost. You do that, Rox, and you're in the warband.
What?
I need to repeat myself.
No, Tribune. Consider her dead.
Report to me when it's done. And, Rox, be careful.
Will do, sir. Listen, you won't believe what Ritlock just said. If I kill Scarlet, I'm in the warband. Definitely.
Oh, I see.
What's the matter? I thought you'd be happy for me.
I just don't understand why you need some warband you don't even know. I mean, you've got me, and we've got a team of our own. Look around. They're all here with you.
It's a char thing. You wouldn't understand.
A char thing? You'd rather be in your fancy warband than with people who've been beside you all this time?
That's not what I said. It's a big deal to get into the Stone Warband.
Why? Because it'll make you special? You're already special. At least to me.
You'll still see me after I get in.
Uh-huh.
You will. Sometimes. Bram? Bram! We have to talk about it sooner or later.
I have to go clean my gear.
Bram!
Where we can go listen to Bram in just a second. But a really fun thing that happens during Living Road Season 1 is that Tequatl got revamped, which I talked about a long time ago. And Rox was part of that like story kind of connected to Tequatl being revamped, and we just saw a little bit of that here. But if you chat with Rox, why is Bram mad at you? He doesn't want me to join the Stone Warband. He thinks he'll never see me again. I will be busy. Sure, they'll have missions and tasks for me, but I'll be able to take leave sometimes to visit, and if you need help, I'll be there if I can. Well, I can't predict where I'll be or what I'll be doing, you know, I can't promise. Let's go listen to Bram over here with Timey and Logan.
Bram, there you are!
Somebody care to tell me why this child was on the battlefield?
Hey, I'm not a child.
Not you, this Asuran girl. I found her out there trying to get to Scarlet's Twisted Marionette. Who does she belong to?
Oh, her.
Help! Help! Save me from this creepy human!
It's okay, I'm a Crichton Seraph. The kid's in no danger.
Bram! Don't let him take me away! Please!
Are you her guardian?
Who, me? Wolf's teeth, no. I've never seen her before in my life.
Bram, you're so mean. Can't we just go home now?
Listen, buddy, I don't know what your game is, but you better get this kid to safety. She's got no business on a battlefield.
What? I swear I've never seen her before in my life. Hey, where's he going? You're not my responsibility.
It's okay, Bram. You can take me home now. I live in Radasum.
Huh? What?
Where do you live? Maybe we could go there instead.
No. You found your way here. You can find your way back.
Fine. Here I go. By myself. Off into the big city. You'll probably never see me again, Bram.
Good luck, kid.
So, potentially the start of a friendship there where we can chat with Bram. And I'm still stirred up by that fight. So what's going on with you and your little friend? My little, the Asuran ragamuffin. I've never seen her before. She must have heard Rox say my name. She tricked that Seraph into thinking I was her guardian. No, I'm not her guardian. I've never seen her before. She's not my Aw, crud, not you two. Alright, I'll make sure she gets home safe, but just this once. You're a good friend, Bram. She's not my friend. Alright, let's talk to Logan.
Marjorie, a word, please.
I'll be right back, Cass.
Is Lady Casimir okay?
Yeah, she'll be fine. It's just been a rough day. Did you see that Twisted Marionette?
I did. And I heard there are jungle worms erupting from the ground in Bloodtide Coast.
That's because they're disturbed by Scarlet's seeking devices.
I thought your Norn was taking you home.
He is. He just doesn't know it yet.
What does a little squirt like you know about Scarlet, anyway?
As it so happens, I know a lot. I've been studying her for months. I came to meet her, but she didn't show up.
To meet her? Why would you want to do that?
Because she's brilliant, of course. My theory is that she knows something about the dragons, and that's why she's building an army.
Your theory, huh? You don't think she's just a big old meanie?
Do you always talk like a 4-year-old?
Hey, I've been meaning to ask you something. You wouldn't know anyone who goes by the initial E, would you? Just E?
E? No, why?
No reason. Just eliminating possibilities. How's the Queen?
I wouldn't know. The Shining Blade have her so tightly wrapped up I can't even get near her.
Well, at least she's safe.
Talking to Marjorie. Now we find a way to corner Scarlet. How do you recommend we do that? We don't know anything about her. Then we learn everything we can. Alright, I'll put out feelers with what friends I have left at the ministry and around Divinity's Reach. Maybe someone knows something. Chatting with Timey. Where are you from, Timey? I'm from Radasum. It's a city in the southwest Metric province. All the Asura live there. You do realize I'm an Asura, right? Of course, Timey. Phew, I thought maybe you were one of those slow Savari. The smart ones are so rare, really. I wouldn't have blamed you. Hey, what's your name? Athasilian. Zap. Nice name, I'm Timey. Did I hear right? You're curious about Scarlet? Most definitely. She's sparky. I drool when I think about everything she could teach me. Have you seen her mechamagical creations? Alchemagical bonanza. She'd kill you without a second thought. Me, inconceivable. She'd recognize my potential and would mold me into her favorite assistant. Then I'd learn more than her, and I'd surpass her. She'd die old and sad, but I'd be amazing. Where we can go ahead, leave the area to plan our next move, where we just met up with so many friends, and now we need to corner Scarlet, but first we have to find Scarlet, somewhere out there in Tyria. Let's read the letter. Trouble at Fort Mariner. An alarm has been sounded at Fort Mariner, where we're holding my trend. I heard you and your crew were in town. I'm headed to the fort now and would appreciate backup. I have a bad feeling. So let's go ahead and head over here and help out at Fort Mariner. Either escape and connecting the pieces, where this is really cool loading screen art of the Asuran Gate Hub and the Lion's Arch. I really like this concept art. But here in Fort Mariner, we got some Aether Blades all around here and an elite Aether Blade Vanguard attacking Ellen Keel, so let's go ahead, rush this way. So this enemy teleports and pulls, so we need to be careful of any big attacks. And we're potentially going to have to move around a lot. And it looks like she also evaded a bunch of attacks, which is kind of unlucky. You can also try to kill all the other Aether Blades around here, which is very easy to do. These Aether Blades are pretty weak, except for the Vanguard, who is very tough. So kind of an interesting comparison there. Where we have this like really big attack, and she just like pulled us in and then knocked us back. But we can easily get back into the fray here, and then just get knocked back again. I was about to say spin to win, but I don't think that's going to be happening right now. She evaded that big attack perfectly. She's like so good at this game. But only a few more attacks to finish this fight. And let's chat with Captain Ellen Keel. Right here, she says, I owe you one again, Commander. Unfortunately, it looks like we were both too late to this disturbance. The Aether Blade staged a smash and grab from the other side of a new mist portal. Come with me. I need to debrief Sheriff Siriam, the officer in charge of these jails. We have the sheriff up there. And then just Lion's Arch in general is just very beautiful and it's super cool looking. But up this way we can see the sheriff. Looks like she's potentially injured. Level 1 even.
It all happened so fast. Scarlet's minions were everywhere. They had our backs to the wall from the very beginning. One of them broadcast Scarlet's voice. She said, "Vacation's over, Mai. I have work for you in the mists." The invaders took Mai to a portal outside. They had to fight past a squad of Lion Guard to get there. And 2 strangers, a golem and a Nord lad with a fearsome mace. After Mai entered the portal, the golem went after her. The Norn shouted for it to stop, but it wouldn't. It declared, "Leave me alone. I know what I'm doing," and actually ran faster.
So we can ask the captain about everything going on, where there are steam devices across the countryside, where Captain Shud claims it's a probe. So we can ask Ellen Keel about the mysterious probe that we see down there in the harbor, but also what the Safari was talking about the edge of the mists, which we talked a little bit about a few episodes ago. This is the first one I've seen turn green. Is that new? What? Let me see. Blast. That's a change. It could have been something to do with this jailbreak. I'm going to marshal everyone I can to this investigation, where we can go ahead and go into the mists, and we can explore the edge of the mist a little bit ourselves, actually. We have a story instance potentially right here. I thought maybe this would load up for us, but we need to join a road versus road team. I guess a reset. And now we can join the Edge of the Mists, which of course was introduced during Living Road Season 1, and there is a bit of story that we can experience in here, which I did talk about. Here are Bram and Timmy.
Sitting still, short pants. The way you took off, I figured you'd be halfway to Mount Maelstrom by now.
Scruffy, my golem, broke down. And I still learned more in the short time I've been here than you have in your whole life.
What happened? Why did your silly magical machine man stop working?
I was studying that strange device, but every time I got too close, it zapped me and knocked me back. Eventually, Scruffy's power cells shorted out and pieces of him fell off. That activated his emergency mode. So he followed protocol like he's supposed to. He carried me here, spit me out, and then powered down. And you've got a lot of nerve calling Scruffy silly, with those clothes and that haircut.
So your golem's dead. Why don't you just walk out of here?
Same reason you don't fly out, because I can't. My ears, how thick are you? See these legs? They don't work right. I can't walk very far unassisted.
Sorry. I didn't know. What did you learn about those, things you were studying before your golem broke?
As if you'd understand. All right, I've got nothing but time, so let's give it a go. They appear to be survey probes for the purpose of identifying high-energy thermic channels and matrices.
So it's like magical energy is a swirling storm, and these things are mapping it.
A trifle simplistic, but yes, that's exactly the case.
Okay, truth time. Why did you run away from me? Why did you come here in the first place?
It's not personal. I just wanted to see Scarlet's handiwork up close. Her marionette was amazing, inspiring. When I saw her minions running through a portal, I followed them.
You were supposed to stay with me. I told you to stop.
Zosha tells me to do stuff all the time. So does Vorp. I don't listen to them either.
What's your story anyway, Tiny? How does a little thing like you get into such big trouble?
It's Timey, and I'm a progeny prodigy. I've got important people fighting for the right to be my teacher.
Important people, huh? Are they real people? Or just big-eared figments of your overactive imagination?
They're real, but they all want to tell me what to learn. I'd rather be like Scarlet and pick my own courses.
Wolf's tail, girl. Don't be too much like Scarlet, okay? One's way too many.
Where we can go ahead and tell Bram about Scarlet's device, and where the probe in the Baylands Arch started turning green. You know anything? And he says, I don't like the sound of that. It means Scarlet's machines are doing something, and that something is never good. Timey was investigating the probes around here. Let's ask her.
More about the probes you examined.
They're well designed. They emit pulsed eldritch waves that register the relative strength of all local ambient magic.
Like the way bats hunt? They let out a chirp and react to what that chirp bounces off of.
Right again! I'm clearly a good influence on you.
What do you think those probes of Scarlet's are looking for?
Best guess? The transcendent magic channels that span the globe. Old-fashioned synergetics texts call them ley lines. Normally you can't see them or touch them, but they're real. Magic finds its own path, like rivers running to the sea. The probes are trying to identify the biggest and strongest of these ley lines, but I'm not sure why. Not yet.
So we can see a very interesting thing here of ley lines mentioned in old-fashioned synergetics text where magic is going all across Tyria and it kind of like follows its own path, kind of like rivers basically, where you can't usually see them, but there are allegedly bigger ones, and we see Scarlet is trying to potentially study these ley lines for some reason. Where we can go ahead and ask Timmy about more, and she learned the hard way that you can't get too close to Scarlet's probes without getting zapped. Scruffy lost some crucial components in the process, but he managed to get me here before he shut down. She can't collect all the parts, and we can go ahead and help her out while Scruffy has her auto repair feature.
What was your golem's name again?
Scruffy?
Will Scruffy work again if we get the stuff you need? I'd get it for you, but I can't leave you unprotected.
You're sweet. And absolutely. I built him for maximum ease of maintenance. All he needs are some replacement parts. He may be rough around the edges, but when he's whole, Scruffy is as reliable as an entropic crystal regulator.
Ah, that's good then. Right?
Ram, will you tell me a story while we wait?
After you ran off on me? And all the abuse you heaped on me since we got here? We did plenty of that back in Cragsdale.
You don't spend much time around Asura, do you? We only abuse people we like, or those we're trying to improve.
Fine, I'll assume you like me. Once upon a time, there was a brave and handsome Norn named Rem.
Ah, I've heard this one already. From you. Twice.
You can go ahead and check the map here really quickly, where we can go to the center in order to do the optional thing, but we basically already done that. So let's go ahead and chat with Timmy, and where we can go ahead and ask her a bunch of questions. Let's ask her about her legs, because she mentioned that her legs don't work as good as they are supposed to, where she was born this way. My legs were never strong enough to carry me very far. Don't pity me though. I hate pity, and I don't need it because I do just fine for myself. I can see that. Can your legs be cured? That remains to be seen. The degenerative effects of my condition may spread to other parts of my body as I get older, but for now, it's just the legs. How far can you walk? I can get in and out of Scruffy when I need to. For example, I can walk from my bedroom to the water closet. Just don't ask me to be your partner in a dance marathon. Scruffy, you mean your golem? His name is Scruffy, and I built him from scratch. He's got some quirks, but he's also got some features no one else has even heard of. He's my conveyance, butler, and battle armor all rolled into one. Where we can ask about the probes, where she intended to examine Scarlet's probes, which would allow her to explore two subjects at once. What is Scarlet up to, and how does she create such fantastic equipment? Where she did not learn as much as she wanted to, and we can go ahead and ask about the ley lines.
Scarlet attended each of the 3 colleges, and that she worked at the inquest. Oh, and that she...
If you believe the rumors. I talked with an Asura named Vorp, and he says it was all bunk. I'm inclined to agree.
I know what Vorp says, but her twisted creatures weren't bunk. The Hollow Pirates either. Some Asura are just jealous.
That's enough about Scarlet for now. Jormag's Tooth, you really need a new hero.
Well, do something heroic enough and I might change my mind.
Then we can go ahead and read this letter, where Marjorie says, the more I think about it, the more convinced I am that Scarlet's actions aren't as random as they seem. There's a pattern here, something she's working toward, and we need to figure it out. I called in every favor I had with the Priory, and they're sending us the evidence they've collected around Scarlet's crimes so far. They're shipping it all to the Dead End Bar so we can start piecing it together. Get here as soon as you can. We need you if we're going to finally get some answers. So let's go ahead and take this portal back to Lion's Arch. And I think we can go ahead and explore the dead end bar the next time that we continue through the story. Where I'm going to go ahead and call this episode good here because we have been going for a while now, and we can go ahead and continue in the future. But I hope you all enjoyed watching this episode of my Guild Wars 2 Let's Play series, and I hope you all are taking great care of yourselves. Remember, as always, to drink some water and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time in the Road of Tyria. Goodbye.